All right, let's get straight into it. Today, we're breaking down a masterclass in systemic failure, Chelsea's decisive Champions League elimination against PSG, right at Stamford Bridge. The final score on the night? 0-3. And the aggregate score? A brutal 2-8. I mean, that's not just a loss. That is a complete and total tactical demolition. So, this brings us to the core tactical question, doesn't it? Chelsea seemed to control the ball, the territory, the tempo. So how on earth did that result in such a catastrophic failure? Let's dissect how this happened. We're going to break this down in 5 sections. We'll start with the paradox of Chelsea's control, then analyze their fatal highline strategy, look at PSG's devastating counter, hear from the managers, and then wrap it all up with the key takeaway. First up, the possession paradox. This is where, if you just glance at the surface-level stats, you get a deeply misleading story. Just look at this data. On paper, Chelsea looks totally dominant, right? 57% possession, over 600 completed passes. But then you look at the metrics that actually matter. 0 goals. Meanwhile, PSG, with way less of the ball, generated an expected goals of 2.7. That's a measure of chance quality, and they converted 3 of them. This right here is the textbook definition of sterile possession. It's dominating the ball without any penetration, without any genuine threat. It's just tactical noise without substance, and it's what created the perfect conditions for a total collapse. So, why was all that possession so ineffective? Well, that leads us directly to the core tactical flaw, something that can only be described as a high-line suicide. Okay, before we dive into the data, a quick definition. PPDA. It stands for passes per defensive action. All you really need to know is the lower the number, the more aggressively a team is pressing. Chelsea's PPDA was an extremely aggressive 8.2. This number confirms a clear tactical commitment to hunting the ball high up the pitch, to trying to suffocate PSG deep in their own half. You can see the strategic intent here from Liam Rosenior. He wanted to play on the front foot, win the ball back immediately, and just pin PSG down. A brave strategy in theory, for sure, especially when you're already chasing a big deficit. But this is the fatal consequence. To execute that press, your whole defensive line has to push up, forcing your fullbacks like Gusto and Cucurella to basically play as wingers. This creates acres, and I mean acres of space behind that defense. It's a massive structural vulnerability, a wide-open invitation that players like Kvaratskhelia and Barcola are literally designed to exploit. It was a gamble that was punished severely. Okay, now let's look at how PSG responded. They didn't just notice this weakness, they built their entire game plan around exploiting it, with just ruthless precision. This chart here illustrates PSG's efficiency perfectly. From just 9 total shots in the entire game, they generated an XG of 2.7. That means their attacks were consistently producing high-quality chances. And then they went and overperformed that metric by scoring 3 goals. That is just lethal efficiency. It is the tactical opposite of Chelsea's sterile possession. Every single PSG attack had a clear and absolutely devastating purpose. And the plan was executed immediately. A goal in the 6th minute, another one in the 14th. The tie was basically null and void before it even got started, as they surgically dismantled any hope Chelsea had with 2 perfect counterattacks. Their methodology was brutally simple. 1, absorb Chelsea's predictable pressure. 2, win the ball back in midfield. And 3, explode into the space that Chelsea's high line had just gifted to them. It worked to perfection. So what did the managers have to say after the match? Well, their comments reveal everything about the tactical gulf between the 2 sides. Just notice the contrast here. Rosenier's focus is on execution. We have to be more clinical. But Luis Enrique, he's talking about the system. We manage the game well. So one manager is identifying a failure to finish, the other is describing a tactical plan that was perfectly executed. Rosenier's quote is the most telling of all. He says, "It's on me to find the answers." And look, that's an admission of accountability, but it also points directly to the fundamental flaw in the approach. The answers weren't about being more clinical. They were about not employing a high-risk system that played directly into the opponent's greatest strengths. And this brings us right to our final takeaway. This was not about individual errors. This was a complete and total system failure. So here it is, the anatomy of the collapse. You had possession without purpose. You had a defensive structure that basically invited the counterattack.
You had a clinical opponent built to punish that exact structure. And you had a game state from the first leg that forced Chelsea to gamble. It was a perfect storm of tactical miscalculation.
Which leaves us with a bigger question for the modern game. Against these elite, transition-focused teams, has this kind of high-risk, high-possession football become a flawed ideology? A tactical approach that's just too vulnerable to the ruthless efficiency of the counter-strike? It's definitely something to consider.